Home Show.
Grant from Sugarland has a question about getting some support from his insurance.
Well, his concern is this. An all too familiar sight these days around.
It's a concern.
Is that the truth? All right, yeah. Well, here's what Grant writes. My friend had a water pipe freeze during the recent cold weather, and obviously the pipe burst, and it did put damage in the kitchen and upstairs, as you can see here, Tom. And the insurance adjuster is scheduled to come soon. Should I get, and this is his question, should I get an independent person to help me with that insurance adjuster, or is this something he can do on his own, Tom?
No, I think he can do this one on his own. I know it looks horrible, but it's a lot of sheetrock, and they're gonna go ahead and cover this if he does any kind of reputable insurance company. It's not as bad as he thinks. He's going to have his deductible he'll have to deal with, and then whatever other costs there are involved in putting it back the way it's supposed to be will be fine. I don't want people to get this adversarial feeling that when their insurance adjuster comes out, it's, he's going to try to screw me, and I'm not going to get what I need, and I got to force him to do something. It's not that kind of claim. If you get into big claims where they're $100,000 burns down, something like that, and you're claiming interior contents and things of that nature, then an adjuster to represent you is probably going to be, it's called a professional adjuster. He'll probably be in your best interests. But it was something like this, the insurance adjuster from your insurance company and whoever you get to do it, it should be an easy claim to take care of.
But you wouldn't go to a public adjuster right off the bat.
Public
right?
adjuster.
Yeah,
I would not.
Everybody knew what you meant, but I mean, you wouldn't go to it right away. I mean, that's kind of a last resort, isn't it?
Yeah, what you have is you have independent adjusters, you have the public adjuster, and then you have the private adjuster that works only for one company. He's the one that's going to work for the company. Independents work for a whole bunch of companies. They run into a little trouble sometimes because when you have a big disaster like we had in Texas, all the insurance adjusters are being pulled from across the country, and some of them are auto adjusters, some of them do other types of work, but they're brought down here and they have a checklist that they follow. If you feel something's not right, you can call your insurance company and request a adjuster up to 3 times. And if you feel like it's really bad, you can go ahead and hire a public adjuster, but you're going to have to pay him 10% of the claim. And that claim isn't really big enough to worry about something like that. There's no way you're going to really get messed up. It's either right or it's wrong. It's ceiling and it's cabinets and floors and whatever might be damaged. But here's something people should do. I'm going to leave this really quick, but I want to put this in here. If you don't know about your coverage, if you don't know about these kind of things and you're just writing a check every month in your mortgage payment, or maybe it's separate like mine, and you're just paying for your insurance, every 4 or 5 years, you should call an adjuster, a representative of the insurance company, however you want, whatever name you want to put on them, and say, hey, let's go over my insurance coverage. Let's see what I have. What if we have a flood? What if we have a freeze? What if I have jewelry or firearms or something like this? Is it covered? Is the stuff in my truck, all my tools, covered because that's part of my home if somebody steals them? You should know your coverage and you should know your insurance company well, because they're there when you need them the most, and people tend to ignore them until all of a sudden they have to make a call and they feel uncomfortable.
We had that experience here in our office. Recently, we shopped our commercial insurance. It's basically the same process, it's just bigger numbers. But anyway, when we shopped these numbers, we found out that we were only insured for about 20% of our value. Because
people don't know.
Nobody had checked those numbers in about 5, 7, 8 years. And so, yeah, you're right. That's great advice, Tom. And I think it's something people don't think about often enough. Make sure your insurance is current. And it doesn't hurt to know somebody at your insurance company. I mean, it's one of those things where...
Yeah, and they're big, but my rule is every 5 years, call them up and say, hey, let's talk about my homeowner's insurance. Mm-hmm. They'll say, well, how about your car insurance? No, I said, let's do one at a time. Let's just deal with homeowners, okay? I don't want to spend 5 hours, and I don't want to go on internet with emails. Let's just talk it through real quick, and I have some questions. And that's it.
Right, and I want to talk to a human, so...
Yeah, I know, kidding. Luckily, you and I have the same insurance company, which is a great one, and... there are humans. Sometimes I tell them, I don't like your phone system, but I'll put up with it. And once I get to them, they say, oh, I know, we hear that all the time. And then we go ahead and have a nice conversation.
That's a benefit.
I get tired of hitting 1, 2, 4, 6 pound. Oh, you hit the wrong one. Oh, 6, 5 pound.
Well,
it's not good for me.
I'm not
I'm
going to say
old.
I won't say the name, but it's the benefit of having veterans in the family.
Yeah.
All right,
military.
you want to send us a question, go ahead and send it. Go visit HomeShowRadio.com. Click on the Ask Tom button right there at HomeShowRadio.com. You can send us a question. You can send us a video. You can send us a picture like Grant did, and we'll help you out just like this. And, of course, we post them every day at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. If you're giving us a thumbs up, we sure appreciate it.